Hey everyone, we're going to be talking about systems of inequalities today. Before we get into those, we're going to review a little bit and talk about systems of equations. That was the last topic we left off before we went on break. So, when it comes to systems of equations, we have two graphs and we're just looking at the intersecting points. So, in this case, the intersecting point here would be that one. So our solutions for our systems of equations are usually 1 point, or it could be no solution, or infinite solutions if it's the same line. In this case, it's the point 2, 3. It is a little different when it comes to systems of inequalities. And I hope you watched the last video so you can learn how to graph inequalities. So let's get into systems of inequalities. We have these two inequalities right here. Y is greater than 3x and x is less than or equal to -1. We're going to graph both of them on our coordinate plane here. First one, let's do in red. Before I start graphing, I want to label the slope and the y-intercept. In this case, your slope is 3, 1. Y-intercept is 0 because there's nothing there. It's plus 0. Let's go ahead and graph that first. So we start at the 0. Rise 3 over 1. And if you remember that chart we did in the last video, that symbol is greater than. Not greater than or equal to, just greater than, which means it is going to be a dashed line that goes all the way. It's kind of hard to make it straight, but I'll do the best we can. Okay, and we also need a shade. So that greater than symbol, we pick a point. What's greater than that point? Everything up or everything down? Well, greater than would be everything up. So we're going to shade everything above the line. Make sure you shade well. You guys are going to be doing it on IXL, and I think it's pretty easy on there, but if we were doing it on paper, make sure you shade all the way and not just one little part. Alright, let's go ahead and do the next one. So x is less than or equal to -1. Remember, you go to the x-axis. If it's just an inequality like this, no y equals mx plus b. On the x-axis, we're going to find -1. It looks like this is going to be a solid line because of the equal to. So we're just going to make a line straight up and down. A -1. Okay, now let's do the shading. Less than or equal to -1. Where are my numbers getting less than? Let's see, here's -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are getting bigger. That's not less than. So it'd be this side. So everything on this side is kind of hard to see, but there is overlap on our shading, and that's what you want to see. Let's see. Maybe you can see it better now. So the part that's overlapping, done with the two colors, let me kind of make it darker for you, so you can see it better. This part is where the solutions are. Not the part with just a little green or just a little red, the part that is overlapping, where we see the two colors. That's our solution. And we can pick a point and test it. So all of these are possible solutions. The thing you need to memorize is that the dashed line means those are not included. But these here, the solid line, mean those are included. So you could pick a point on this part of that region, but not that part. So let's pick a random point. Let's see. We'll pick -2, 0. Let's pick that point right there. We're going to test it. Remember, this is x, this is y. Let's go ahead and plug it in. So that's our first one. That's our second one. If I were to plug in x and y here, I would get 0. Let's see, x is -2. Is 0 greater than is 0 greater than -6? Yes, it is. So that one works. Let's plug in here. We don't have any y to plug in, but we do have an x. So -2 is less than or equal to -1. Is that true? Is -2 less than or equal to -1? Yes, it is. So we know this is the correct region that we shaded. So all of these are possible solutions, except for what's in this line. And that's how we would graph inequalities, or sorry, systems of inequalities. Let me know if you have any questions. You might have to solve some of them, and you can look at the previous video on how to do that. But I will be available during my office hours. You're welcome to come and ask questions. Have a good week.